All right, guys, welcome back. So, doing a couple videos for this channel to kind of get it off the ground and address a couple of the main things. So, I've talked about in some previous videos what this channel is going to be about, how I got into digital marketing, how I went from being actually an Army veteran through college, becoming a business manager, and then eventually owning a digital marketing agency, how that kind of came about. So I've covered that in the last two videos. Again, guys, this channel is going to be very informal, unedited, just providing information that I hope is helpful. So today I wanted to talk about, do businesses need a website in 2025? That is one of the most common questions I still hear because of AI, social media, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these other channels. I get a lot of questions. Does a business still need a website in 2025? So I'm going to talk about that a bit, and let's look at it from the first, probably kind of sub question of this category that I get. How is AI impacting search? And if there's AI, like ChatGPT and things like that, then why would I need a website? So to address those concerns, the term AI, or artificial intelligence, is stuck on a lot of these things as a label. So when you look at ChatGPT, people just say AI. In my mind, AI is a computer that is capable of thinking like the human brain and is potentially even conscious. And we do not have that technology yet. That doesn't exist. You'd get into quantum computing, neural computing, just theoretical fields that do not exist. But the term AI gets stuck on ChatGPT, gets stuck on OpenAI, and it's just what we're going to go with. I think that's what the industry's decided to go with in 2025. So we're going with it. But I want to really kind of hammer down what this means. So these are what's called generative language models. What they do is they've programmed these models to understand the English language, have a reasoning ability built into them. And so when we ask it a question, it can use the English language to then try to answer that question. But to answer a question, you have to have knowledge. You have to have information. And so here's where we get to the answer. Do I still need a website in 2025 if there is AI? Yes, you absolutely need a website. Where do you think ChatGPT gets the answer to the question? So if I were to go to ChatGPT and say, hey, give me, click, 20 or 10 or 5 plumbing businesses in Atlanta, Georgia. Give me the 5 best plumbing companies in Atlanta. Then it's going to go, and first it's going to look at websites. And it tells you that to the right. When you look at a ChatGPT search, or you look at Gemini AI, actually, when you do a Google search and you see Gemini AI overview, you'll notice it gives you the sources to the right. So it's going to, go look at websites. It's going to look at the authority of the websites, how long they've existed, how much traffic they get. And that's its first metric. Like these are businesses who've been around Atlanta for a while. They're plumbing companies that have a website with high domain authority. They get a lot of traffic. They must be legitimate. So that's the first thing. 2, they look at these websites in the sense, are they static or dynamic? It's going to rank dynamic websites higher, meaning these websites answer questions that people in Atlanta are constantly searching about plumbing. How do I replace my toilet? How do I change a faucet? So are these dynamic websites? It's going to look at Google business profiles. It has access to GBP, Yelp, other business citation websites. And it's basically going to look and see which plumbing businesses in Atlanta, which 3, which 5, which 10 plumbing businesses have the highest authority websites with the most dynamic content that is the most helpful to Google and answers people's questions commonly. Who has the best reviews? So how many reviews do you have? How good are they? And then many other variables, but that's kind of where it starts. And to answer questions quickly, do you need a website in 2025? Absolutely, because it is not the only thing you need anymore. We highly recommend omni-channel marketing. But by starting with a website, you create a foundation for your online presence. You start answering questions that AI will then use as answers when people search for things in your market, in your community, in your area, related to your industry. And without a website, you're not going to show up. So if you do not have a website, and let's say you definitely don't have any business citations, you are definitely not going to show up. So to answer the question, do you need a website in 2025? Yes, you absolutely do. but it's not the only thing you need. So that's why I didn't give an answer at the beginning of the video, because I feel it would be misleading. So when I work with clients as a marketing agency, a new tree service or a new plumber, a new HVAC that's looking to open his business in any market comes to us, we don't just focus on one thing anymore. So 10 years ago, you could build a website, rank it against a couple competitors, get traffic. In 2025, you try to open a plumbing company in Atlanta, there are already 100 plumbers listed on Google Business Profile, if not more. There's already probably 80, 90 authoritative, high authority websites that have existed for a long time, if not more. And there's already plumbing companies with thousands of reviews. So you dip your toe in the water, but you're definitely swimming upstream in the beginning. And so we do not just focus on one thing with a company anymore. We actually build websites. We encourage our clients to build, to create their Google Business Profile very quickly. So it's one of the first things we encourage clients to do. Go ahead and get that verified. And then we encourage clients to start doing citation building so that they're not just listed on their website. They're not just showing up as a Google business, but they're on Yelp. They're on Nextdoor. They're on all these different business citation websites like White Pages, Yellow Pages, to start creating that online presence that starts looking robust. So to answer the questions, do businesses need a website in 2025? Absolutely. You cannot go without it, in my opinion. I saw a stat recently that said like 84% of businesses that do not have a website will fail within their first, I think it was like 3 years. So it's definitely one of those things where people are hearing the term AI, they're thinking about ChatGPT, and they're going, well, doesn't ChatGPT kind of negate or AI search negate the reason for a website? No, it does not. Because of the simple fact that AI search engines, AI tools are directly pulling information when people ask from websites. So if you do not have a website, if your business does not have a robust online presence, you're not going to show up. That's it. You're not going to show up. So you may be the best plumber in your community, the best plumber in your market, but every time, the 20, 30-year-olds that are buying houses, that are having kids, that are creating families, they're staring at screens. They're staring at their phones in 2025. It's been going on for a long time, nothing new. But these are becoming your customers. This next generation, the last two generations, Gen Z, millennials, they're staring at their phones. So they use their phones to find businesses, more so, I think, than referral networking as it used to be. So I've actually talked to business owners who, have been in business 20 years, but they've noticed maybe in the last 5 years or however long, they've noticed a steady decline in the amount of business that they've gotten from younger clientele. They still have a lot of their old customers who maybe found out about them through a neighbor or a friend or their referral network, but they're noticing that they're not picking up as many of the younger generation. And we ask them, do you have a website? Do you have a Google Business Profile? Are you listed on Yelp and other business citation sites, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And they say, no, I never needed it before. So whether you're a new business in 2025 and you're thinking, I'm going to launch this thing, buy some business cards, some yard signs, use my family and friends, my network, or whether you're an old existing business, but you've noticed a decline in younger clientele, this might be some of the reasons why. And so I would highly look at how does your business look online, because it's not going away, but also AI search tools are not replacing the foundations of the internet. Now, will that be this, 5 years, 10 years from now? Is that going to be the same answer? Don't know. I suspect not. I highly suspect not. But, we don't know. So to answer the question, do I need a website in 2025? Does my business still need a website because of AI? Absolutely. That's where it gets its information. That's its brain. So it may have the ability to understand English. These tools may have the ability to do a little bit of reasoning and research all these different variables very quickly. Like how well is your business appearing online? How good are your reviews, etc. But if they cannot find you online, if they cannot find a website for your company, and they cannot find citations and reviews and Google Business Profiles, you have no chance of showing up. So the answer is yes, and I hope that's helpful.